Hey class, today we're looking at chapters 11 and chapters 12 as we look at kind of this idea of the inner circle and the law of magnetism, drawing people to you, attracting people to you. And obviously we're in our book here, 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. And so what I want to talk about today, and this probably won't be a very long podcast, but it's just something I want you to be thinking about in leadership, okay? Well, let me just read actually from chapter 11 there, where it's called the law of the inner circle, the law of the inner circle. And here are a few things that John Maxwell says when he talks about this law. He says, when we see any incredibly gifted person, it's always tempting to believe that talent alone made him or her successful. To think that is to buy into a lie. Nobody does anything great alone. Leaders do not succeed alone. A leader's potential is determined by those closest to him or her. What makes the difference is the leader's inner circle. So he says that, and he goes on, then he has these few things to say. He says, most people create an inner circle of people. However, they are usually not strategic in doing so. We naturally tend to surround ourselves with either people we like or people with whom we are comfortable. Few people give enough thought to how those closest to them impact their effectiveness or leadership potential. You see it all the time with certain athletes who transition to the professional ranks and entertainers who achieve success professionally. Some self-destruct and never reach their full potential, and it can often be attributed to the kind of people they spend their time with. To practice the law of the inner circle, you must be intentional with your relationship building. You must give thought to the accomplishment of your mission and success of the people who will follow you. Only if you reach your potential as a leader do people have a chance to reach their potential. It goes back to what we talked about, the law of the lid. The higher you go, the higher everyone else goes around you, right? So if you want to get higher, right, you've got to surround yourself. It all kind of works together. If you want to get higher, you have to surround yourself with good people who help you get higher, right? And obviously the higher you go, the higher that they go as well. So it's all kind of this circle that works together. But so many people rarely spend the time it takes to sit down and think intentionally about the people who they're surrounded with. There's a great saying that I heard recently, and it, I guess this was a year or two ago, and it talked about when you see a successful person, someone who's on the up, right? And they keep going up, and all of a sudden they hit a downhill slide. You can always, if you were to look at a map of their life, you could always take that when they begin to cut downward, you can always relate that back to a person, back to a choice they made. They either married the wrong person, they got in a relationship with the wrong person, they chose the wrong business partner, they chose the wrong friendship, whatever it might be, but they were on the up, and all of a sudden they're on the down. That moment right there, you can always look at that and you can say there was a person involved in that movement right there. And so it's important for us to, and you can also look at other people and say that they were kind of going along like this, kind of flat, and all of a sudden they begin to take off. You can also go back every single time and relate that to a person, something in their life. I mean, I'm thinking about my own life, and for sure this is the case. For sure this is the case. I think about my 20s, and maybe I was on a good path and I chose a wrong relationship, chose to hang out with the wrong guys, chose to get in the wrong, a relationship with the wrong, with the wrong female or whatever it might be. And I can look back on my life and see those downturns as they related to those relationships. But I also think about, that there's no shame in my game. I've shared this with a lot of people. In 2014, so that was 10 years ago, I started on the process of therapy. And I knew, I just was looking at my life and I was thinking, I'm not reaching my full and highest potential. I could look around me and see the choices I was making and things. And I said, I've got to get better at this. And I found a therapist, no shame in my game. I think almost everybody should have a therapist in their life. You may not need it for 9 years like I did, but you might need it for 18 years or every other month or just a few checkups, whatever. I think it's important for all of us. But 2 years after I met her, my life began to skyrocket. I mean, just take off, up. And I can credit that to that person. So again, the same thing goes for you. We have to be very careful with who we bring into our inner circle. That's important for the business you want to grow, for the nonprofit. Who you hire is important. And the dangerous thing is at the beginning, especially if you're starting a business or you're coming into a leadership position and maybe you've lost some people, is you get tempted to take anyone who wants to, who wants to join your business, anyone who wants to join your team. We've got to be careful about that. You will live, or that saying, live or die by the sword. I say you live or die by the team that you create around you. Okay. Now then the question is, okay. So then the question might become, well, how do I build this team? JC, how do I do this? Well, chapter 9 really talks about this, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it. But John Maxwell really talks about this. Who you are is who you attract, right? So you're never going to attract, going back to law of the lid, if you're a level 6 person, if you're a level 6 leader, you're only going to attract 5s around you. So if you're looking around you right now and you're thinking, why am I surrounded by 5s? You got to look at yourself, okay? Chapter 9 says this: effective leaders are always on the lookout for good people. I think each of us carries around a mental list of what kind of people we would like to have in our organization. Think about it. Do you know who you're looking for right now? What profile? What is your profile of the perfect employee? What qualities do they possess? Would you want them to be aggressive and entrepreneurial? Are you looking for leaders? Do you care if they are in their 20s, 40s, 60s? Right? Stop right now. And it says make a list. And so that's what we're going to do here in just a second. But then he gives some examples from this. I'm not going to go into all of that. Here's the biggest point that I'm trying to make. Okay, I guess 3 points here. You are the sum of the people that you surround yourself with. You need to know what you're trying to attract. Okay, and you need to understand that you attract who you are. So here's what I want to ask you. I want you to write out, here's our assignment today. When you think about the future team that you're going to build, it's going to help you build the organization that you're going to build. I want you to list out the 5 top qualities of the team members that you want around me, or the team members you want around you. Okay. The employee, these might be employees, the employees that are going to work for you. I want you to list out the top 5 traits. Now, don't give me some cheesy stuff, trustworthy, respect. Yes, all that's good. I get it. And you want trustworthy people. But if you're starting a business, you want people to help you make money. Okay. You need help. You need help building a profit. Okay. So be real about what you want. All right. And again, that's going to be important for you as you move forward. So that's the first question. And then so you just list off 5 traits, and don't just write down, again, just the cheesy traits that you see on a wall chart or something like that. Really think about what are the traits you want for the people around you. Use this as an exercise that will help you in the workplace. And then the second question, and this is probably the most important one: what do you need to work on to become those 5 traits that you just mentioned? Now, you may have all 5 traits, great, but there's something you could probably get better at. Okay. What do you need to become? What do you need to get better at to make sure that you're attracting those 5 traits onto your team? Because the reality is you will never attract better than what you are. All right. So again, if you're a level 6 on a scale of 1 to 10, you're only going to get 5s. If you want to attract 10s, boy, you got to be a 10 yourself. And so here's what I mean by that too. That doesn't mean you have to be the biggest, baddest one there. Most level 10 leaders that I've met, they aren't the biggest, baddest one in the room, but they're the one who's able to put their ego aside and let these 10s shine, because 10s have to shine. Like if you're going to hire a team of 10s, you got to get out of the way. You can't be insecure and trying to control these people. You got to let them, they're going to move your company forward. Your job is just to kind of coordinate, facilitate, make that happen. Okay. That's really level 10. I'm kind of giving some secrets away here, but I want you to think about that. Okay. So again, what are the top 5 traits, and what are something you need to change in order to attract those 5 qualities that you want around me, that you want around you? Thanks so much for listening to the podcast today. Reach out if you need me. Have a great week, everyone. And we'll talk soon. Take care.